Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Mwah coming to you again on the highway and byway, bringing on this gospel of truth, unified, hopefully, that of Yahshua, all of Israel, so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos. The sea line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And one or two-thirds of our people, that no matter what this devil, Esau the Edomite, the so-called white man, promise you, he cannot deliver you from the rod of the Most High, Yahweh, Shema, Shai. And it's always a pleasure to that Esau the Edomite, the so-called white man, and all his cohorts know that you're going down. But before we get started, let's turn to East, give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. The Lord is Jesus, others, and the apostle, great most stone, likewise, brothers from another shoot. Faithfully, fearlessly feeding sheep and be brothers and sisters, and shalom. So I watched a couple camps yesterday, and we had a camp out there in Tampa Bay, you know, being ridiculed or being harassed by these young Edomite college kids, you know, who were in defiance against what they were teaching. Now, let me tell you something here. See, we're in a time right now where people are angry at us, not because of what we're teaching, it's because of the impact of what we're teaching is having on the people out here. You see, when it was all good and well when we all, you know, was singing Kumbaya in the 60s, 70s, 80s, early 2000s, talking about, you know, equal rights and all this other horse shit. You know, these Edomites, they like that because they like the fact that you're looking at them as superior and you want to be equal to them. Well, I'm here to tell you this. Many scriptures speak about who we really are, okay? Which is the chosen people of the Lord, Yahweh, Shema, Shai. You jakes out there shouldn't be seeking to be equal to an abomination, a caveman, okay? The man, okay, or the people that come from the clefts of the rock, as the law has spoken in the scriptures, okay? These people are going to be our future slaves, whether you like it or not, Jake, okay? Whether you like it or not, we're not equal to them, okay? And you jakes that are siding with this doggone devil, okay, you need to understand this, that the Mashiach, when he returns, he's not returning for everybody. He's returning only for his elect, okay? Let's go into the scriptures and let's prove that. Because you always keep hearing the argument is, Jesus loves everybody. Yeah, Jesus might love everybody. Yahweh Shai doesn't. God might love everybody. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai doesn't. And it makes it very clear that he loves Jacob, put us in judgment, okay? Okay, put punishment on us. You know, right now we're exiled. Basically, we're out here as slaves, okay, under the oppression and suppression of the so-called white man. But he loves us, and he's going to eventually put us back in our stature and status where we were before the fall. But he hates Esau. He hates the so-called white man. You better get used to it, okay? Let's go into what Yahushua said when he returns. That fact that he's not coming back for everybody. Okay, it's not here. Bear with me for 1 second. So we can see who he's actually coming back. So this is Matthew 15, and starting with verse 22, actually starting verse 21, it says, Then Yahushua went thence and departed unto the coast of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast, and cried unto him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. So she had a possessed devil, a possessed daughter who had some demons on her. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, Send her away, because he cried after us. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The lost sheep of the house of Israel. So that debunks that Jesus loves everybody, Yahushua loves everybody. Everybody's going to somehow have a special place in the kingdom. Yeah, you are going to have a special place in the kingdom. You Edomites and you doggone other tribes, okay? It's going to be slavery. Slavery. That's going to be your special place, starting with your elites. Okay, and the rest of you doggone worthless eaters, you doggone low-level Edomites out here, okay, that have your issue with Jakes, you know, find your little doggone, you know, Nazi cross and all that stuff. thinking that you're going to be just intimidating Jake. Understand this: you're all going to die here by the sword, famine, pestilence, okay, and or the lake of fire. Okay, that's going to be the judgment for Great Babylon, America. In fact, let's go into the book of John, and we know why you hate us, and we don't care. See, that's the thing that's getting to a lot of that's the thing that's getting to these people is the fact that we don't care. We don't care. We don't mince our words. We're not coming out here to speak timid and soft to you. Okay, if you're looking for edification, you will get that edification. But it's edification from the scripture. The opinion of man does not matter. My opinion doesn't matter. It's what's written in the scripture here. So when we go into the book of John, let's start off with the book of John here. Because we got a lot of yellow belly motherfuckers, okay, in our tribes, okay, in our tribes, scared to speak, okay, against the doggone wicked, but they have no problem speaking against dignity, okay. And if you have you know, they think everything is a doggone joke, like those crackers yesterday, you know, they're looking at it as all joke, you know, coming up against those brothers down out there in Tampa Bay. But you see, when all the hell breaks loose, when they start grabbing their doggone weapons and start slaughtering each other for a slice of bread, when they getting their ass kicked, when they actually come up against niggas, or niggas come up against them, they're all gonna be crying like a doggone little baby, man. And it talks about the fact that Judah's gonna be a terror, okay, here in Egypt. But y'all wanna walk up to camps with men that are in order, you know, and you assume you're dealing with soft, pacified, passive-aggressive men, and that could be far from the doggone truth. We're special men that was chosen by Yahushua himself, okay? He didn't choose pacified, sissy men that was scared to go out there and stand up and bring out his words. Whether you stand out there with 5 guys, 10 guys, 20 guys, or even 1 guy, you stand up here the same way bold as ever, looking at you damn people. And you can pass by in your cars, you can walk by, okay? And it's the same doggone thing. These people know what time it is, all right? This is John 15, starting verse 18, and it reads, book of John 15, starting verse 18, it reads, if the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. The world hated Yahushua before it hated us. So the Israelites hated, okay, the 2/3, they hated Yahushua before they hate us. They chose thieves and robbers and murderers, okay, and Caesar, okay, over their Hamashiach. So, you know, the thing that was and what that and that was that is, okay, is and nothing new under the sun, roughly paraphrasing, okay. I know I kind of bugged it up with it, but it says, if ye were of the world, you know, the world would love its own, but because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hated you. If you were of the world, let's think about that for a second. You would accept 2 men kissing and hugging each other like a doggone man and woman should. You would accept homosexuality, sodomy. You would accept, okay, eating abominable food, okay, or 2 women getting together, okay, coupling with each other like the way a man and woman should. You would accept transgender. You would accept all the pagan holidays and stuff. What's coming up next? Thanksgiving coming up next. Okay, actually, no, what's coming up next is going to be Halloween. And if you go around, you get these people that barely can make ends meet on their doggone on their mortgage, but they have no problem spending that extra $1 to go get some doggone Halloween bullshit to put up on top of their house. Why don't you fix the roof? Why don't you give the house a new paint or some shit like that instead of doggone buying bullshit? So people don't even know where to put their damn money. So when they're out there and they're broke as fuck, okay, they're wondering like, what the hell I'm broke? How the hell I'm broke? Because you spend your money on dumb shit, motherfucker. And we're looking at this SNAP benefits close out. So next week, November 1st, we can know if the Trump administration is going to stick to their plan or they're going to flake out like they always do. Because this isn't the first time they've turned around and say, oh, we're not going to be paying the benefits or whatever. They threaten that shit every doggone year, and every year they turn around and they pay it. So that's why you can't even believe this man. This man can't really stick to his own personal conviction. Dog, if you hate the Hebrew Israelite, just fucking show it, man. Why you tiptoeing? Okay? Because we really want to see exactly how these people are going to really deal. You know, you have a lot of them talking about, oh, you know, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to steal, I'm going to do this and all that stuff. Please go ahead and do it. so that we can have videos to make. You know how much lessons we can bring out as Jake's getting put in the spirit world, as these Edomites, these low-level crackers getting put in the doggone spirit world. Lots and lots of videos, man, because sometimes you have a hard time to bring out a video during the weekdays, because the news isn't exciting. It's the same old shit. We want to see deletion, okay, as promised, okay, it says, remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours. So we know that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, because unless you're on a platform with billions are watching you, and you have the endorsement of the doggone devil, okay, the so-called white man, Esau, the Edomite, okay, nobody's going to look at you, take you serious, but they'll take Paso pork chop eating bald-faced motherfucker serious though, okay. I think it was a brother who put up a video. I can't remember the name of the pastor. He's a famous one. This woman gave him $1,200. He turns around and look at it and go, "You're not getting the message here. I said I want $2,000." Anyways, okay. So now you have a lot of these people putting out their money like that. Yeah, they might have a job and a little bit of savings and stuff like that, but what happens if your job lets you go? Do you have enough savings to carry you on for a couple of years and to make ends meet and pay your mortgage or pay your rent? Okay, most people, even if they have a good savings, it's probably going to run out in about 2 or 3 or 4 months. All right, but this man is demanding $2,000 from you for what? Is he going to put food in your refrigerator when the time comes? Is he going to have sentries stationed outside your doggone door to protect you from the looters and the hooligans that's going to come and try to take what you have because they can't get it? No, he's about himself. He's gonna charter a doggone flight and probably get out the damn country. Okay, this is Matthew 10, and let's take a look at these guys that are having second thoughts, and the brother, the elder brother there. He always, you bring all that, and all the other brothers do, talking about the fact that this ain't no time. This ain't no time to tuck your tail between your legs and get soft and I'm not sure, man. Nah, you should be sure even more, because what we're seeing right now is that prophecy is coming to pass. Okay, when you look at all these doggone cities, what do you see? Okay, you don't see them. How the hell do you go in Chinatown? Okay, and don't even arrest one damn fucking group? All you're arresting is doggone dark-skinned men. How the hell do you go in Chinatown to go do that? That makes absolutely no sense. So that goes to show, okay, that they're out for the Hebrew Israelite. You so-called blacks and Americans and Latinos, whether you want to believe it or not. It's just going to be a matter of time before this man send his sentries or they lock down these cities. Because if Jake's them do, or these people do what they say they're going to do, which is going and looting and robbing people, at some point in time, that insurrection act is going to come through where they're going to say, okay, you know what? They're getting out of hand. This is the reason why we're telling you we're going to need to have the National Guard in these cities. And it's going to justify Trump and what he's doing. He's going to say, see, I was trying to tell you all that all the while. You're going to need the National Guard. These people are animals. But you put them, you force them into an animal state. California has what, 50, 60 million people in it? Okay, heavy Hispanic or Latino population. Okay, heavy. So if a lot of them are receiving if a lot of them, or let's say about 30% of them are receiving the snaps or the benefits, and then you have a lot of Edomites that are receiving it, and people who actually had professional jobs, without the case like that, once you lose your job and you have nothing else to turn to, you're probably going to have to go on SNAP benefit too. So a lot of these people who probably never been on it before are going to have to go on it, whether they want to or not. They're just going to have to get that help. Okay. And you see the stipulation that's in place here that you have to go and work at a time when the economy is falling. Businesses are closing. Okay, retail is closing, which employs a lot of people who don't have specific skills or technical skills that's needed out there. AI is even replacing people with those technical skills, so even they're going to be out there, okay, jobless, because what? You're going to take somebody with a cybersecurity degree, 15 years of cybersecurity experience, or know how to put a local area network or wide area network, or a LAN system. and think that they're going to think that McDonald's is going to hire them. It's not going to work. Okay, the manager of McDonald's, or the local McDonald's, okay, who has maybe an associate degree, is not going to bring somebody in who came from Silicon Valley, making $400,000 a year, and say, okay, yeah, I'm going to hire you to go fry the French fries. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. All right, because the attitude is going to be, this is only going to be temporary. Okay, and someone that's been in those positions is going to constantly let the people who now really went to college and whose livelihood depends on working, you know, flipping burgers and shit. You can let them know, hey man, you know, I used to be making $400,000 a year. I used to be this guy, that guy. I was a CEO, CIO. I was the CTO. You know, all this other stuff. I was an executive. I was this and that. And you know, you see how this is going to work inside, you know, those places. So they can't possibly bring somebody like that because they're not going to fit in. It's not possible to do it. Okay. So let's go into Matthew 10 and starting with verse 32, and it reads, Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. Which is why we always make sure we let you know his name is Yahweh Shai, okay? The Mashiach, okay? The Savior, the King. Yahweh Shai, not Jesus. Okay, when you think of the name Jesus, the first thing comes to your head, which has been drilled into our head since we were children, okay, it's this doggone crack with a doggone brown hair and blue eyes, okay? But yes, sir, no burnt mark, you know, perfectly manicured fingernails and all that stuff, you know. But he was a carpenter, but he lived in a rough place like the Middle East where your skin should technically be all cracked up and chopped, okay. But this guy is a Mashiach that the Bible speaks of. Absolutely not. These people don't want to understand, nor do they want to believe, okay, that the God of the Bible, the Savior of the Bible, the Jesus of the Bible, okay, is a so-called black man, even though it's written. Even though it's written. Because they want to keep you as a prisoner in your mind to accept the so-called white man and his mythology, okay, his myths, okay, of him being the Messiah, of him being the Mashiach, of him being the angels, of him being the ancient prophets, okay, that's correct. And it's being debunked as we speak right now. And they hate the fact that there are men that are just not bowing the knees. You're just not getting in order. You're just not being a part of this society. We don't want to be a part of your damn society. And we can tell it to you like this. We're going to eat. You're still not going to be able to kill all of us. You're going to kill some of us. We understand that. And we accept that fate. That some of us are going to go down to the sword and get our head chopped off. But not all of us. Okay? And the Lord Yahweh Shemashah said what? Okay? When the enemy should come in like a flood, he'll raise up a standard against him. So you're going to get your ass kicked in front of the world, Esau. You're going to get humiliated and embarrassed and beat down. Yahweh is going to beat your monkey ass down. Okay? Beat your ass down. You can't do a damn shit. Y'all can't even pass a damn bill to even pay to even feed your doggone own citizen in this country. And we're supposed to think that you're doggone the God of the Bible? Get the fuck out of here. It says, but whosoever shall deny me before man, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. I see y'all got y'all got a lot of blood on your hands, preaching that Jesus Christ, Wi-Fi, all the rest of you, man. Okay? The chump change that they paying you is not going to be worth it. And y'all, if y'all the fact that y'all will sell out just like that for chump change, shows just how low y'all really are. Lazy ass niggas, man. You scared to work 2 jobs. You scared to work 3 jobs. You scared to eat sardine for like a couple of years. Sardine and instant rice for a couple of years, or sardine or corned beef and rice. So y'all scared to do that stuff. So y'all want instant richness. And so Esau came and he understood y'all. He watched how y'all teach, and he knew right off the bat they can be compromised. They can be compromised. So the men are compromised because of that. You don't turn around and exalt the name of Yahweh Shem Shai. The man, you don't go and scream, okay, and exalt his name and his true glory. And it says, think not that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. And he came to send a sword. Okay? And that sword is here. That sword is here. Jacob trouble is already started right now. Okay, we'll start off with doggone the fact that this man is not going to feed your ass anymore, which is good. Okay, which is going to cause a lot of you jakes to act up, and then you're going to decide to see, oh, he's against you. But at the end of the day, once y'all get used to that, okay, and the whole society is starting to collapse. Of course, this is going to be a global thing. This is the reason why you see they have the data centers. You know, there's like a splurge on building these data centers, and that's great for the construction industry. You know, but that's not being built to put jobs in places, because despite the fact that these data centers are massive and huge, at the end of the day, they say, oh, it's going to employ 100 people, or it's going to employ 50 people. 50 highly skilled people. It's not going to be a job. It's not going to be employing thousands of jobs for you doggone worthless, good for nothing people. The majority of you people driving your car right now, your metal coffin right now, you are stupid and dumb. You are dumb. All you know how to do is just drive around with your head fucked up your monkey ass, okay, thinking that some way, somehow, everything is going to resolve it doggone self. No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay? Let's go into Ecclesiastes 13, verse 6. Because, again, as the Mashiach said, he's going to bring a sword. What is that sword? Famine. People going up against each other. Okay? Those are going to be the kind of things. So take a look right here. Just giggling, laughing, like funny laughing. Now, you can drive down the street and get into an accident. And then guess what? Crying like a dog on the road, you go. I know, this is Halloween, so they probably think that you're out here in a Halloween costume. And you're here for their entertainment. And that's what they think. So people think that you're here for their entertainment because they think it's Halloween time. So you're here for the entertainment, okay? Look at this pudgy boy there, just driving and looking. You're not supposed to drive and read and look at your cell phone, right? But see people that are confident like that. And you get this little perk, you get this little smug fucking look on his damn face. A little pudgy, little fat, little fuck. Oh boy, this is Ecclesiastes 13, verse 6. It reads, if you have a need of thee, this is talking about this crocodile. He says, if you have a need of thee, he will deceive thee, smile upon thee, and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair and say, what wanest thou? You know, one of the most disgusting things is when you look at these celebrities, like guys like Snoop Dogg and 50 Cent and all these guys. Now, I understand you get to make a living. But what these guys started out as and what they became, it's really a disgusting thing to watch. And that's why you can't never look at these dudes, look at these niggas that are sellouts as some individuals that have any authority or any power. They don't. So they've been used to keep Jakes in darkness. They take someone like Mike Tyson, who was never one of the best heavyweights. He had a season, but he was great. But because he's a piece of shit, you know, an adulterer, he went to prison for raping, whether he did it or not, the fact is on his record. Okay, a guy that's just the pinnacle of being a shitbag, and they've exalted him, and now he's a multi-millionaire once more again. And they use him. Because see, when you look at him, he represents a lot of Tyrones and Jason. You know, the guy that was an underdog that became something, then went back to nothing, and then got back into something, and he's already accepted, okay, by this society. Okay, so now he's a celebrity, well-known right now, a piece of shit. Okay? And he sort of does that basically to kind of fuck with your head. Because you look at him and go, how does a guy like this that should be rotting in prison is now being loved by everybody? But that's okay. Okay? Don't worry about that, man. It says, and he says, and he will shame thee by his meats until he has drawn thee dry twice. And at the last he will laugh thee to scorn afterward. When he see thee, he will forsake thee, and shake his head at thee. Thee, that thou be not deceived and brought down into jollity. Jollity is being in a happy state. So, bottom line is if you have an envy for the oppressor, okay, basically you're going to look at what he has and go, well, why don't I have that? This is why you see Jakes are crashing out in their car and going, you know, I work my ass off and I have nothing to show for it. Well, hey, welcome to many of our lives, man. Okay? You should have been working your ass off from day one, working 2-3 jobs and stuff like that. Okay? And Maybe you don't show. Maybe you have nothing to show for it because you're gambling in it away, or you spend it on some freaking fast ass, nasty ass, nigga bitch. Okay, there could be a whole lot of ways. Maybe you living above your means. Do you need a freaking doggone apartment that big or that flashy? Do you need a big screen TV? Do you need an $800 or $900 a month car payment? Okay, so you get to ask yourself, like, sit down and go, what is it that you do? What is it that you need? So if you're making $1 and you're living at $1.50, you're always going to be negative. You're living at 50%. You're living at 150% above your income. But if you're making $1 and you're living at doggone 50 cents, then you're living 50% below your income. That means you're going to save some money. Okay? That means you're going to cut out a lot of things. No clubbing, and a whole lot of other things, man. You might not be going on dates at all. A bitch don't want to freaking doggone and give you no chum, just unless you spend $500 or no. Shit. I can tell you what you could go and do, all right? But I'm not going to say it. This is Hebrews 13. And starting verse 9. Let's talk about doctrine of these false teachers. Okay, we understand what's going on right now. Okay, I'm not going to repeat, obviously what you watched in camp yesterday and what you watch in camp in some of the other camps today. You have the issue that's brewing out there in the Middle East. You have, the biggest thing that's going on right now is the SNAP benefit thing. It seems to be, it's viral. I'll be honest with you. Here's what I believe. I believe they're gonna, at the last minute, they're gonna turn around and then they're gonna come up with some money to go pay for it because, it's the holidays, okay? And they're gonna weigh the risk and benefit of keeping it away. The risk is that you have a lot more Edomites on doggone SNAP and welfare than you do have Jakes. But that is the truth. Now, the faces of the people screaming the most are going to be Jakes because, especially Eve, the end up. Okay, she's now going to keep her mouth quiet. She's going to really, she's going to plan it real quick and escalate it more than she has to escalate it. If you got $3,500 a month for food, and you got that every month, I mean, technically, you should have enough food stored up to last you a few months, to be honest with you. So it wouldn't matter if they couldn't give you money for food. I can see where they're not paying for the housing or something like that. That might be a concern because nobody wants to go live out in the streets. And we're seeing right now where many are getting thrown out in the street, from their Section 8 housing and stuff like that. And this isn't only impacting the younger people. This is also impacting older people too. That they have those criteria in place. And then you have millions of others who are going to have to get on the system. Because of the fact that, they worked for 15, 20, maybe even 30 years or 40 years even. But now they need this help. They need this help. Okay? And now they got to go through months or weeks, if not months, of waiting to be evaluated to whether they qualify or not and all this other shit like that. So you're going to see, the spirit and the mirth of Great Babylon America really start to really drop significantly. Because people are now going to have to tighten up. And this is going to have a cascading domino effect on the entire economy, all right? Which, if you're a person into the Christmas work and all that stuff like that, you're probably going to see less people out there celebrating these things. Let's go in the book of Hebrews. This is the book of Hebrews 13. And starting with, let's go to verse 9. And this is what it says here. It says, be not carried about with divers and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace, not with meats, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein. We don't go into the Christian doctrine. Okay, again, we don't speak with any guile. This is not our opinion. Okay, we're not prophets, so to speak. Okay, we're not prophet. You're not going to see a bowl on the ground here collecting money. I don't need your money. I don't. Okay, I don't need your money. You're not going to see cash apps on the bottom pages of any of the true men of the Lord. Okay. Now I know there are certain brothers or who are getting cash out given to them, and that's up to the cash apper, so to speak. Okay, if to do that. But this is not a prescription, a paid subscription doctrine. We don't, subscribe to Muhammad or all these other, deity doctrine out there that these people are putting out and trying to have Jakes in. Jake, you still have the so-called black Muslims, or the black Islam. You still have those out there. You still have Jake walking around with the Kangols in his head backwards, dressed all in black, all friggin' doggone militant. Okay. You have the Hebrew Israelites that are right now really the main talk about when people say that they hate the Hebrew Israelites. Really what they're talking about is this microphone Hebrew Israelites that are screaming and shouting at them and trying to call them into something that they don't belong. We know if you are not called up here to hear this word in humility, okay, to be humble, chances are you are not part of the elect. Chances are the Lord does not want you. So there's not going to be a calling of going, hey, do you know who you are? Why don't you come up here and hear this word? Oh, why don't you grab a bottle of cold water while you're driving? You don't get it. You can drive by in your car all day. You can screw your window up, you can snap photos, you can snap a little video, you can have your laugh. But at the end of the doggone day, it all comes down to it. Okay, whether you have food to eat or not, this place is going to go into a chaotic state in which people are going to be too scared to even take a doggone shit because you think somebody's going to come into the house while you have your doggone trousers down, dropping a dink inside the doggone toilet. Alright? This is how great that fear is going to be. And the people underestimate just how terrifying the Lord is with his doggone judgment, with his judgment. Let's go into Ezekiel 34, start verse 1. Okay, because here I'm talking about the evil, how they speak evil against the shepherds. Okay, which is basically the prophet. They're speaking evil. This is Ezekiel 34. The book of Ezekiel 34. Salakia, let me take a look at it. Sometimes my eyes work really well, and other times I'm looking at it and you don't see it. Okay. This is Ezekiel 34, verse 1, it reads, "And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel, prophesy and say unto them, Thus said the Lord power unto the shepherds, Woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves, should not the shepherds feed the flocks?" Okay, now, what does that mean? If we know something bad is about to happen, shouldn't we warn the flock? We know the MOTB is coming. Shouldn't we warn the flock? That's why you have a sign right here. It talks about the MOTB, which is the mark of the beast. Okay? We painstakingly go and look for videos, news footages, whether it's here in Great Babylon, America, or across this earth. Okay, to show, and even go back date, because sometimes you find a lot of old videos or videos that was of old, okay, that you would come out and bring out to show that they've basically been planning, okay, this new world order, okay, bringing out this technocracy for a long time. This isn't something brand new. When we bring it out and we feed it out to you people, whether you want to hear or go here. Brothers create posters, brothers show the posters, they have those posters out there, and it might be offensive to some people because it's not the traditional doctrine that they used to hear, which is talking about this happy-go-lucky life in which you could be a wicked-ass, doggone sodomite, a wicked-ass demonic woman with no respect for a man or yourself, okay, a whore, okay, and you could do whatever the hell you want to doggone do, and this doggone glowing, sweet-loving, pasty-pale doggone dude with long hair and blue eyes is going to descend from the clouds of heaven and scoop up everybody. So then who the hell is the bad people? Who the hell is really actually going to hell? I mean, it makes absolutely no doggone sense. But it says right here, you have these men that are telling you there's no hell. Okay, which hell is a condition? Oh, there ain't gonna be no slaves in the kingdom. What the hell do you mean there's not gonna be slaves in the kingdom? You got slaves here right now. What the hell do you think we are when we work and we pay taxes and you don't even see 1/3 of your doggone check? You only see 1/3 of your time. So you work for 1/3 of the time for free. 24 hours in a day, 8 hours a day, you work. So on the 5 days of the week that you go to work, 2 of those days goes to taxes. You work for 2 days for free. It goes to taxes. That's not slavery to you. What is slavery? And see, that's a problem with you damn people. You don't think. You're not analytical. A lot of you think you're so smart. but you're not analytical because you don't understand, okay, analogies. You don't understand anything, okay? So you have shepherds that are not feeding the people, not letting them know, okay, about the dangers that's going to be coming to them. The fact, okay, that this so-called immigration or migrant roundup is not about immigration or migrant roundup at all. This is about persecution of the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. That's the reason why they're only targeting so-called brown people. Why are they only targeting so-called brown people? Okay? And you got these flimsy people that drive around your car like trying to sneak at people videotaping me. Just pull your fucking car up and set up a videotape. And see, that's the spirit of these doggone people. That fear they have, that doggone cowardice. Okay, if you think I'm just some laughing stock or whatever, okay, so laugh your ass off, please do. Because I'm going to laugh at you when you're in doggone dire straits. I am really going to laugh at you. I kid you not. We warn you about that. We don't sugarcoat it. There is an RFID microchip that's going to be made mandatory to inject in your hand. At first, they're going to tell you all the good things about it. It's going to be great. It's going to cure this. It's going to do that. It's going to make life easier. And then it's going to be mandatory. Just like how right now the real ID, that's mandatory. Oh, but that's not good enough. Okay? Prior to 2001, the airport practically had no security. You could bring almost anything on board the planes. You could just go right through. It didn't matter. After that, because they wanted to bring this place into a more police state, you now have to basically have yourself scanned up. They can feel your balls and see what's inside your trousers, you know, all that shit. You get a bend over, a cough. All these things you have to do just before you board a damn plane. Okay? Let's go into Luke 12 and verse 2. Let's talk about the fact that if you don't speak about you don't speak about who the devil is, which is Esau the Edomite, so-called white man. You don't talk about his plans, which is the fact that this man is rounding up Jakes in the thousands. You know those ICE agents and those agents, which I think a lot of them are not even Americans, behind the mask, they have a quota to meet. So when you have a quota to meet, and you have to go and round up 7 people, and you have to meet that quota, you're not going to do it by the books. They're going to do it by meeting the doggone quota. This is the reason why you see so-called U.S. citizens are now being grabbed up, held against their will, whether they have identification or not, or proof of it or not, okay, and roughed up. Right here in El Paso, they got the largest internment camp, and yet so you got a lot of these people driving around here in El Paso have no doggone clue that there's an internment camp over there in Fort Bliss. You live here in El Paso and you don't know that they have built an internment torture chamber camp over there on Fort Bliss. And when the time comes, they're going to grab your ass and they're going to toss you over there. Okay? And when that's filled up, they're just going to toss you in a doggone tent. Hot ass tent, barely feeding your ass. There ain't going to be no water to wash your ass and shit. There ain't going to be no 3 meals a day like in a state prison, like some of y'all think. They're not even deporting the people that they're picking up. They're not even deporting them. They're putting them in internment camp and putting them to work. Notice that you have not seen a video footage yet of people being actually deported. Nobody's getting it because they're not deporting you. Okay? They're not deporting you. They're taking a lot of jakes and they're gonna take a lot of you with your kids, okay, and they're harvesting your organs. They're harvesting your organs, draining your blood, using you for experiments. Okay? But you don't want to listen. But that's our job is to warn you. Our job is the fact that this is written of things that's going to come. And our job is to simply warn you. And we're doing that job. And you paid us for it. Okay? This is Luke 12. The book of Luke 12, it's down verse 2, and it reads, "For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known." Everything is going to be known. what the scripture says, the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, his eyes is like 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Well, you see how bright the sun is. But okay, but it's talking about his infinite wisdom. Okay, the fact that he can see anything and he knows everything and he knows everything. He knows your thoughts. You can't hide, and that's a scary thing. You can't hide your thoughts from Yahweh Shema Shai. He knows what you're thinking. He can tell whether you're full of shit or not. He knows what you're scared of. Okay? All those things. So he's going to reveal, and he's revealing, he's using the lowly to reveal the things of these people who thought that they could hide it forever. Okay? We're the ones that's we're the ones that are decoding the cosmos. We're the ones that's decoding everything that this man thought was hidden. That he thought he could hide, that he thought he could play the whole world. And they don't like it. So they're watching it because Esau knows. Okay, these elite knows. But the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, made it very clear to them in that warning. Touch not my anointed, and do my servants no harm. They know that. That is the reason why you see they haven't really come around to do any harm to us yet. Okay? Now we speculate, or I speculate that these other camps, ISUPK, IUIC, and those are going to be named example when they're coming after the Hebrew Israelites. Because they're not coming in the name of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, they're coming in the name of the Lord Jesus, and they're taking the person. So that they compromise. At some point, Esau already know what camp to go start off with when they want to go and smash down this ministry. They know that they can go after these camps that they already paid or established, okay, to go out there and teach false doctrine, to go out there, okay, and get our people in a confused state. They already know that. And so we believe these other camps are going to be the ones that are going to be an example, okay, when the time comes. This is Luke 12, what she says, verse 3 says, therefore, whatsoever you have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which you have spoken in the air, in the closet, shall be proclaimed upon the housetop. And it says, and I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them. This is the Mashiach, it's red letter. Be not afraid of them that kill the body, and after that have no more that they can do. So, that. We've all died before, okay? Some of us died on our way here to go serve our term in slavery, to go pick cottons or whatever the hell it was that we did, okay? Do you remember? I don't remember the last time I died. Okay? So clearly, that's how death is, okay? The spirit goes back to the Most High Yahweh Shema Shai. So what he's telling you, the Mashiach is telling you, once they didn't kill your body, that's all there is to it. You're going to get a new body. And a new body after that, because it says right here, it says, but I will forewarn you whom you shall fear him, which after he had killed, had power to cast into hell. Yeah, I say unto you, fear him, which means what? I want you to think about this for a second. So you have these M-dubs, okay, that are crying about welfare, and they're not going to get the SNAP benefits, they're going to get kicked out of their house and all that stuff. What do they all have in common, a lot of them? They all have children. So you got to ask yourself, those children, some people say, well, the children are going to be the one that's going to be impacted the most. They're going to say, okay, you're an adult, but then you have children. So the children is going to be impacted by what happened to that woman who's a so-called single mom. Okay? You don't think, for one, now think about it, that's a form of hell when you get thrown out in the street. You can't take baths. You don't get food, nobody cares, because there's so many people out there that's going to be needing help. People are not going to be able to freaking help anybody. They're going to be looking out for themselves, because people are going to realize, well, wait a minute, that could be me next. Next thing you know, I'm homeless. Next thing you know, I'm out there on the street, no way in hell. And people are going to get cold, and they're going to get mean. So now think about it. Those kids that are with those are going to end up. You don't think that those are spirits that were brought back, they were put to death before, they were brought back as children, and they were brought back in the womb of a wicked woman right now who's about to suffer. So those children are going to suffer too. That's hell. That's going to be their hell. Okay? They look like children, but those are doggone just wicked spirits that are now here to suffer like that. And suffer. So they've been put in with the doggone wicked, with the undesirable. Okay? This is let's go into Revelation 21, 7, verse 7. Book of Revelation 21, and starting with verse 7. Let's talk about what the Lord doesn't like. I think I brought this out earlier during the week. Okay. But there's some really obese motherfuckers out there. Look at Revelation 21, Psalm 7 reads, "He that overcometh shall inherit us." Let's see if I can go. Okay. That's how it says. Actually, let's start from verse 1. It says, "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away." This is starting with verse 1. "And I, John, saw the holy city, Jerusalem, coming down from out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of power is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and power himself should be with them, and be their power. Then he will be their God. Power shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there should be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither should there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away." So of course we're going to be immortal, okay? And we talk about that all the time. We're going to be immortal. We're not going to be in a sad state. We're not going to be for hunger. We're not going to be scared of people, trying to kill us all the time. We're going to be in a good state, okay? Because we're going to have the Mashiach, okay, running the show. All right, and we're going to have a king, King David, okay? You have the 12 apostles, and you have the 144,000 men, which is going to be the governors on this earth, okay? And then you have, of course, the 1/3, okay? And then our 2/3 will be with us too. And it says, "And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I made all things new. And he said unto me, Right, for these words are true and faithful. He said unto me that it is done. I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is thirst of the fountain of the water of the life freely." So this is not to be for sale. If your heart is open to it, you will learn this truth. But again, we all know that our ways is not our ways. Really, our ways is Yahweh Shemel Shai ways. So the elect has already been chosen, okay, from the foundations of the earth. So if you're not part of the elect, it doesn't matter, okay? You can't change anything. It says, "He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his power, and he shall be my son." But here's who he doesn't like. This is who he doesn't like. But the fearful, okay, changing the doctrine, trying to please man, because you're scared of the doggone so-called white man, so you're going to exalt him from this sweet loving white Jesus, which there's no love with this white, with this doggone devil. Okay? So you're fearful. You don't want to exalt the name of Yahweh Shemel Shai. You don't want to come out in the highway and the byway, in and out season, okay, and speak against the doggone wicked of this world. You don't want to tell these men, stop being little pacified sissies, stop being sodomite, stop sucking dick. You don't want to tell these women, okay, to stop being whores and get in order. You men don't want to stand up and do that because you're fearful. You're fearful of what the system thinks about you. We don't fear the system like that. It didn't mean that we're going to be renegades and we'll disobey the laws. It's just that we don't fear that. We don't fear a man in that respect. Okay? So the Lord doesn't like scaredy cats. And unbelieving. You don't want to believe. If you don't even want to believe this Hebrews, right? If you don't want to believe, there's going to be slaves in the kingdom, starting with the so-called white man and these other tribes. You don't want to believe you're going to actually live forever, ever. You don't want to believe that there's going to be a great separation between you have the immortal people of the Hebrew Israelite, okay, Yasharala, versus everybody else on earth that's going to be in servitude of the servitude state. With Esau getting the worst of it. All right? But the abominable and the murderers, and how people murder each other, whoremongers, sell each other, sorcerers. Okay, you rather look and worship idols, you rather look into the double horoscope and all the other bullshit, rather than looking into the scriptures. The scriptures tells you exactly what's going to happen next. You don't need to look at no damn horoscope. I mean, unless you're looking at it for entertainment purposes, just to laugh your ass off and use it as a lesson. But all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Okay? So he doesn't want you around. Let's go to the book of Psalms. I'm not sure if I'm going to go into all of it. It's the book of Psalms 10, and starting with verse 1. I'm not sure. Okay, actually, let's do it. It says, "Why standest thou afar, O Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai? Why hidest thou in a time of trouble?" Which is why our people say, if there's a God, why niggas are suffering? If there's a God, why babies are dying? If there's a God, why we so poor? If there's a God, why this, and that? All they do is just whine and double and complain. Okay? You know one thing I never hear Jason go and ask? If there's a God, why did he set the white man in position of authority over us? They're not concerned about that. They're comfortable being in subjection to an abomination, to a murderer, to a thief, to a rapist or sodomite. They're comfortable with that. Okay? So they don't ask those questions. It says, the wicked in his pride don't persecute the poor, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. So Esau creates a lot of ways of things together. But it's not going to work on the elect. It's only going to work on the 2/3. It's only going to work on the rest of people on this earth. Because they actually believe this man is the man of peace. They actually believe that this man has their best interest. When we can tell you he doesn't have their best interest. And even if he pretends like he has his best interest, we don't give a shit. I don't care. At the end of the day, I don't actually care. I don't want him to be our friend. I don't trust him. Ever. For the wicked boast of their hearts is I am blessed. The covetous whom the Lord Yahweh Shai abhorred. Why do you think you have all these wicked ass chicks, these niggas, exalted up there? I laughed when Kobe helicopter crashed. That wicked ass nigga, he was known in the NBA as a really wicked ass, satanic fucking nigga, man. And the Lord judged his ass. Because the morning that helicopter crashed, they grounded all the flights out there in LA. But I can imagine this nigga sitting down there in this helicopter with this people them going, hey man, I'm Kobe Bryant, you know. I can imagine people sitting in the helicopter with him, thinking that, oh wow, they were this powerful man that he's so powerful and so famous that even LA gave him special clearance to go take off and fly that morning. And guess what? Little that they realized was that was the day every single one of them, their spirit was going to be called back to the Lord. It says, his ways are always grievous, the judgments are far. Slacky, it says, the wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after power. Power is not in all his thoughts. The only time they have the power in their thoughts is when they're painting the false painting, okay, of this old Edomite. Okay, touching fingers with this young sissy-looking dude, Edomite, okay, which is an abomination because it's very faggish and sodomish, okay? So it's in a deceptive way to fool you, to worship them. But it's not about giving glory to the Lord. It says his ways are always grievous, like judgments are far above out of his sight. Far out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffed at them, which I'm telling you right now, this man is about to go all across this earth in this great wrath. And Esau's wrath on this earth is the Lord's wrath on you people. Okay? And you people deserve every bit of it that's coming to you. You deserve to die. You deserve your kids to die. You deserve to die. Your dogs kill you in your sleep. Good for you. Okay? Shalak Rayon. To all of you people, man. Okay? I think this is a joke. Your Christmas and your Thanksgiving be a portion. It says, you said inside I should not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing, deceit, and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sit in the lurking places of the villages and the secret places of the murder the innocent. His eyes are people set against the poor. What you talk about? The legislation, all those things, those are all part of that. Sitting in the secret places, you know, making these laws. These laws, while they look like they're for everybody, they're really designed in such a way that there's a certain set of people that is always impacted by these things. Okay? A certain set of people that's impacted by things. They know damn well when they take SNAP benefits and all those things from Jakes, from everybody, the Jakes them are more likely to have less savings or less ability, or have, you know, the inability to turn to anybody like a family member for help. So Jakes are more likely to react before they think. They're going to go out there and do some stupidness, which is justifying this man who's looking to bring out the National Guard in all these states to lower crime down. So in order to create, you need to create a situation in which you can bring the crime so that you can say, see, I told y'all so. I told y'all so. And people can say, yep, bring in the National Guard. Bring in the National Guard. So it won't surprise me if they actually have a set of Jason paid sitting down ready to go and break into these stores and ready to go break in, to go do a lot of these stuff on vandalism and stealing, you know, because of the so-called shutdown lack of bringing in the help of these benefits. It wouldn't surprise me. So it says, he lies secretly as a lion in his den. He waited to catch a ball. He don't catch a ball. Then draw him in his net, which is what you see going on right now. Jakes him apart. In a catch 22. Jakes him apart. Okay? They depend on the system. It says, cause you to humble himself, pour up and fall by strong ones. He has set aside power, I forgot. He hid his face in the Lord. The Lord sees everything. The lack is going to be protected at the end of the day. The rest of you people catching hell, it's because the Lord is bringing that hell on you, and you deserve every bit of the hell that you're getting. Okay? That's what you're getting. The wicked is going to suffer, it says. And basically, that's basically what I'm going to do. Let's close over to Jeremiah 51. Sorry, we're 24, because I know that this was brought out. I believe the elder apostle then they actually brought this out yesterday, went into the book of Jeremiah 51. So obviously I'm just going to touch on just these two here. Says the Lord says now when you look into this, it actually goes heavy into the fact that the Lord is going to use this man, okay, as rulers on this earth. Okay, where it goes into breaking into pieces kings, shepherds, breaking into pieces slaves, all those things. Okay, when you go into the earlier scriptures. But this part I'm going to read, it says, and I will render unto Babylon and unto all the inhabitants of Chaldea all the evil that they have done inside in the sight, said the Lord Yahweh. One of my posters that I have here shows a lot of the evil that's been done to us. Butt breaking, I mean, just a lot of horrific things, and hanging and lynching, you know, and I've had a strike and had all kinds of craziness happen to my channel based on the fact that when I put these pictures showing these Edomites and their stuff that they do, things that you can find easily on YouTube and also on Google, what they'll turn around and do when you put the pictures, when we bring up the scriptures and put the pictures up there, they'll say, oh, but you didn't explain exactly what it was like that, so it's not informative or it's not educational because you put it up there just meant to shock or whatever case it is. You got it, Esau, it doesn't matter. You people on your YouTube or whatever case that, who owns YouTube, whatever case of that, when we come off of YouTube, you people should be shitting your own self. You should be shitting yourself. Because once the elect has been sealed, the work of the Son, the work of the prophets is done, okay, there's gonna be a time of rest. Okay? The four winds will not be held. All you proud ass people that thought that basically you think you're so smart, you're hitting the report button and all the other stuff trying to get smart, using your AI and all that stuff, it makes no difference. It makes no difference. You guys can override your AI decision-making instruments there. Okay? You can override it, but you don't because you want to be, that's how y'all took down that brother's channel without even warning. Because he was bringing out lessons that was really getting under your skin. It was starting to get, they couldn't take it any longer. He was bringing out the truth. That's the reason why they never striked him. They just turned around and just took it down because of the fact is that his lessons were going in to the truth of these people. And they just couldn't take it. So they're not even going to wait to go do the strikes and all that stuff. What they did was I don't think they took the channel down. What they did, okay, because I built a clone of YouTube. All they do is they basically make it inaccessible and they take it and they hide it from the public, the whole entire channels, which is easy to be done. But I can guarantee you, when it's time for the persecution, they're gonna somehow bring all those videos back. Because if that was the case, it completely and totally shut him up. So why didn't they go and attack his backup channel? That channel was more popular, and that's the reason why. So why didn't they attack the backup channel? They did not attack the backup channel. Because what they wanted to do is they wanted to try to create that immediate fear. Okay? And it says, behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, said the Lord Yahweh shall destroy all the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. Okay, so this place is going to be destroyed. Basically, y'all have seen, you know, the breakdown of that, you know, probably from the elder apostle saying, okay, hell of a lot better than I can break it down. But at the same time, too, You know, everybody has been given a viewpoint into the scriptures. You know, and based on your experience and certain things that you experience or you know of, like that. Of course, you can apply it to give examples. You know, to the chiefs. Okay, especially those who are just coming in, because when you first come in, okay, you're new to this. You know, you've been in the world all your while, striving, trying to achieve excellence, you know, with your degrees and your jobs and high paying this and all that stuff like that. But here you are, you're coming into something that's telling you you are going to have to put those aside, that ego aside, and be like a baby and learn new. And there's going to be men that you're going to be learning from that out in the world, you would say, you know, this person is not a high achiever. They don't have maybe what your resume has, you know, the positions you've held, or the accolades that you receive out in the world. It makes no difference, okay, because they are the teachers, and you have to be humble to learn from them, because you're like a baby in this ministry, okay? So Lord willing, the elect is edified, turns it easy and walking around to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Kakadash. Shalom to all of you.